But this story happened a long time ago, when kings ruled the land and before countries were formed. Shushan was ruled by King Achashverosh, a lazy king who preferred to have parties for days rather than actually think about laws and ruling his kingdom. He let others do the thinking for him. One of his chief thinkers was Haman. But more about him later. During one of his never-ending parties, the king called for his wife.
Queen Vashti, come and dance for our guests. Let me show off your beauty to all of our friends.
No way! My body belongs to no one but me! Her refusal embarrassed and angered the king so much.
Give me that crown. For disobeying me, I hereby banish you from Shushan.
The king, now alone and lonely, decided to hold a contest among all the young women in the kingdom to find a new wife. A beautiful Jewish woman named Esther entered the contest because her uncle Mordecai encouraged her.
After all, to have a Jew in such proximity to power could only be a good thing.
When the king saw Esther, he was mesmerized.
I choose you, Esther, to be my queen.
But he didn't know that she was Jewish, and Esther didn't tell him either, at least not yet. Once Esther moved into the palace, Mordecai liked to stay nearby, sitting outside the palace gate. One day, while sitting there, he overheard 2 of the palace guards plotting to kill the king. Right away, Mordecai reported the news, and the 2 guards were caught and punished. Mordecai was a hero. And this was written down in the king's official record book. Now back to Haman. Because the king was not really interested in doing his job, he promoted Haman to do the work for him.
I am now the king's most powerful advisor, more powerful than anyone else in the land.
Haman was pretty full of himself and liked to walk around the kingdom and make everyone bow to him. Everyone did so, except for Mordecai the Jew.
I will never bow down to a human person.
This incensed Haman so much that he vowed not only to destroy Mordecai, but vowed,
I will destroy all of the Jewish people along with him. There will be a great massacre, a genocide of all the Jews.
But on what day would this happen? Haman then drew lots, Purim, to choose the day, the 13th of the month of Adar. Haman went to the king to put his plan into action.
O king, there is an evil people in this land who will not bow to you. You must not tolerate this. Decree that the Jews should be killed.
And the king, who didn't like to think for himself anyway, agreed. When Mordecai heard the decree, he immediately called for Esther.
Esther, you are our only hope. You must speak to the king on behalf of your people.
But I am afraid. I could be killed if I speak to the king without an invitation.
Esther, if you are silent and say nothing to the king, it's as if you're agreeing with the decree. A person who stands silently by is responsible for the tragedy. You can use your privilege and your position to save your people and yourself. Maybe this is the reason why you became queen.
I will do it.
The king had a restless night. He couldn't sleep.
Perhaps I will have the Chronicles of the Kingdom read to me to help me fall asleep.
He called his servant to read to him from the Chronicles, and it was there that he heard again the story of how Mordecai saved his life by reporting the plan of those guards, and noticed that Mordecai had not yet been rewarded.
Haman, how should a hero in the kingdom be rewarded?
Haman, thinking this hero was himself, answered,
He should be paraded around the kingdom in the finest robes and on the finest horse.
That's wonderful advice. Haman, parade Mordecai around the kingdom for his heroism.
This made Haman feel humiliated, and he hated the Jews even more. In the meantime, Esther had decided on the best way to tell the king that she is Jewish and that Haman was planning to kill her along with all of her people.
I will throw a lavish party because everyone knows how much the king loves parties. And I will invite not just the king, but also Haman.
Once at the party, Esther gathered all of her courage to tell the king everything.
There's a person in your palace who wants to destroy me and all of my people.
I demand to know who would do such a thing.
Him, Haman.
The king was furious. He granted Esther's request. Instead of the Jews being killed, Haman would be instead for being a traitor. The Jewish people were saved. From then on, the holiday of Purim was established and is celebrated on the 14th day of the month of Adar to remember when the Jews acted with courage and spoke up for justice. We celebrate by sending food and treats to friends, mishloach manot, and giving gifts to the poor, matanot le'evyonim. We eat 3-cornered cookies, hamantashen, that look like Haman's pointed hat. We celebrate with costume parties and we wear masks because you never know where you might find the face of God hiding in plain sight.